Hey guys, my name is Linnam, and welcome to Learn to Play, the series where I help you learn to play the new and powerful decks that fill the meta. Today, we'll be learning about Recruit Paladin, a Paladin deck that uses the silver hand recruits generated by your hero power to overwhelm opponents on the board. In this game, Recruit Paladin goes up against an aggressive rogue running the pirate package with cards such as Swashbuckler and Patch the Pirate. In our opening mulligan, we drop the two cards that cost more than 5 mana, keeping the shielded minibot. We get Ragnaros Late Lord and a Steward of Darkshire. Ragnaros isn't ideal, obviously, because of his high cost, but Steward of Darkshire is a pretty decent card in this matchup, as long as we can get something like Lost in the Jungle to pair it with. Okay, turn 1, we draw Consecration. A good card in this matchup, not so great on turn 1. So despite the mulligan, we didn't get a 1-drop. Their turn 1, they play Swashbuckler to enable the Patch the Pirate. Now, their board is pretty decent. We'd be able to counter it if we'd had Lost in the Jungle or Zombie Chow. Unfortunately, we did not. But we do have the shielded minibot that we kept in the mulligan. So we can contest the 2 minions on board, plus a dagger. He plays Gang Up on the patches. It's not a usual choice in the meta right now, but it can work out because you do get the triple patches pulled out of your deck. Turn 3, we're just going to play Steward of Darkshire for tempo. It can be removed with a simple backstab knife, but at the same time, it does waste the backstab and knife charge, and he's unlikely to play anything substantial on the board this turn. As it turned out, he did not have backstab or knife, and then we get lucky and draw Muster for Battle, which lets us immediately develop 3 1/1s with Divine Shield and a weapon. Muster for Battle is one of the stronger cards against aggro decks because it gives you an ability to deal with their minions and generates minions of your own you can trade into theirs. Okay, plays coin, he's turn 5, so he's probably going to pull out. That's not a usual play, but it does have some merit in this matchup. Unfortunately for him, it was completely countered by the Divine Shields on our minions. We draw True Silver, but we use the Slayfuse Stegodon to get +3 attack on all of our Silverhand recruits. Now, it's only turn 5, but we've already managed to put 18 points of damage into his face, while also controlling his minions. That's part of the reason why this deck is so strong. So now he plays the Sludge Belcher and uses a backstab on one of our Silverhand recruits, but we still have a good deal of power on board. We decided to go with the Spike Ridge Steed on the Lakeview Stegodon, which is an important play because now, to get rid of the Stegodon, he actually has to sap the Spike Ridge Steed and the Lakeview Stegodon, which will end up giving us the Stegodon back and let us adapt again. Now, also, we attacked once into the slime there, so that then next turn we can clear it with the attack from the weapon. Now, he's gotten a pretty good board state here. Fortunately for us, we have Consecration in hand. And while I briefly considered using True Silver in combination with the Stegodon to clear stuff, in the end I decided that we're just going to use Consecration, get clear the board, and play the Steward of Darkshire behind the protection of the Lightfuse Stegodon and Spike Ridge Steed. Now, his turn. This is a really difficult position for him, because he doesn't have any good way to deal 3 damage through a taunt, so he's going to have to use Sap or something. Unfortunately, he doesn't have that, so he just pulls out the Gadgets and Auctioneer, which gives us the easy lethal with True Silver. Game 2. In this one, Recruit Paladin goes up against a Death Rattle Priest, running the new quest introduced in Goro that requires the Priest player to play 7 Death Rattle minions. In our opening hand, we get pretty lucky with the Zombie Chow and Steward of Darkshire, and get even luckier with the mulligan as we draw Muster for Battle and Lost in the Jungle, which are both very good opening cards. On the Priest's turn 1, he plays Awaken the Makers, which is the new Death Rattle quest. So for our turn 1 then, we have the choice of Zombie Chow or Lost in the Jungle. We go with Zombie Chow because it has a slightly bigger body, so it can contest the board better. And if he kills it now, he doesn't get the healing benefit from it. Turn 2, we attack with the Zombie Chow, and instead of playing Lost in the Jungle, we actually just summon a single Silverhand Recruit. This is because on turn 3, if we wanted to, we could play Lost in the Jungle and a Silverhand Recruit and get 3 immediately, which would give us a total of 4 over 2 turns, rather than the 3 we'd get if we used Lost in the Jungle on turn 2. On turn 3, we play the Stonehill Defender, and get lucky and get Sunkeeper Terram, which is the best card to get with this deck. It's now the Priest's turn, and at this point he'll be looking for some way to clear the board, or generate a powerful minion that can help contest. He chooses to play Kazakus, which is a decent choice here, because it gives him a powerful potion he could use to clear the board on a later turn. Kazakus potions are especially dangerous to Recruit Paladin because the Polymorph potion is very effective at dealing quickly with a full board of buffed recruits. Now our turn, and we decided to go with Steward of the Darkshire and Lost in the Jungle. This is a very good combination against any control deck, as shielded Silverhand Recruits are very difficult for control decks to remove. We call off the Zombie Chow now, so he only gets 3 points of the 5 points of healing, and then finish him doing the damage with a Silverhand Recruit. At this point, it's 5 turns in and we've only done 1 damage. However, we've gotten a really good board state. So right there, he clears most of the board, but those 2 Silverhand Recruits are protected by the shield. Now we briefly consider playing Quartermaster here. However, if we played Quartermaster on turn 5, and then played Sunkeeper Terram on turn 6, it would completely overwrite the changes made to the minions by the Quartermaster. So instead, we decide to get 3 Silverhand Recruits, and then add the Life-Fused Stegodon. And here, this is a bit of a risk, because they're still very weak, while I could have gone and given them +3 health to make them immune to most board clears. However, +3 health would also be completely negated by Sunkeeper Terram's buff. And so I decided the best play here would be to go a little risky and take the Wind Fury, which pays off as he doesn't clear the board, instead just plays Sylvanas. Playing Sunkeeper Terram, I suddenly get a board full of 3 3s with Wind Fury, and I'm able to unleash a total of 18 damage in 1 turn. Now he's in a very tough spot. He has a heal, so he's not technically dead yet. However, he still has very low control of the board, so he attacks with Sylvanas into Terram, hoping to steal the taunt and buy him a couple turns of protection. Unfortunately, this plan does not pan out as he only steals the Stegodon, and so he tosses down a Sludge Belcher in the hopes of gaining another turn or 2. Fortunately for me, I have Quartermaster in hand, so I just toss that out, get a board full of 5/5 Silverhand Recruits with Wind Fury, and easily clear away his minions, at which point he just concedes. In this game, Recruit Paladin goes up against Secret Paladin in a classic Paladin mirror matchup. In our opening hand, you'll see that we have Stonehill Defender, which is normally a very good card in this matchup. However, because we have the Zombie Chow, I decided to look for something a little bit cheaper, and managed to recover a shielded minibot. Okay. Turn 1, play the Zombie Chow. Zombie Chow is very good against Paladins, because on turn 1 it counters both Lost in the Jungle and Secret Keeper, and on turn 2 it can take care of the shielded minibot, which is a card with many layers of use. As it turns out, they don't have any turn 1 play, so they end up having to coin out the Mad Scientist, which is pretty weak, as it trades very badly against the Zombie Chow. Now it's my turn. I kill off the Mad Scientist and then play Shielded Minibot, so that just in case it's Repentance, the Shielded Minibot's health will only go down by 1, which is a fairly negligible change, and pretty much nullified because of the Divine Shield. Now it's my turn, and I decided to test for Noble Sacrifice by attacking to the spider. Turns out not to be Noble Sacrifice, and so I used Shielded Minibot to attack his face, and play the Stonehill Defender to take care of the 2 1/1s. Deciding to stick with Tauren Warrior instead of Faceless Shambler, because Faceless Shambler doesn't have many targets in this matchup. I in-turn, and it turns out that he has Competitive Spirit, which is pretty bad as it now allows his spiders to trade into Stonehill Defender for free. He also plays Knife Juggler on another secret, which is problematic for me as it could be either Avenge or Noble Sacrifice, which would both be very, very bad for me. Testing for Noble Sacrifice with the Shield and Minibot, just in case I find out that it's actually Competitive Spirit, and so I just toss out the Tauren Warrior to contest the board. They play a second Mad Scientist and are forced to trade into my Tauren Warrior with one of the spiders while going face with the other. This gives me a very easy trade of the Shield and Minibot into the spider that's remaining. However, I drew Consecration, which made the choice even easier, as it allowed me to clear his board quite easily. Deciding not to use the Shield and Minibot to test for Noble Sacrifice, as they would just die, I attacked before playing Consecration as well. He plays Eater of Secrets, which gives me a very easy trade with the True Silver Champion. Testing once again for Noble Sacrifice, I then go and take out the Eater of Secrets with the True Silver, before using the hero power to get a minion on board. Now, playing the True Silver Champion here isn't ideal, as I'll probably want to be playing the Divine Cleaver on turn 7. He pulls out the Divine Favor for 2 cards, which isn't that great. And that's my turn again. No real reason to play Consecration, so I test for Noble Sacrifice with the Silver-Hand Recruit, take out his other Silver-Hand Recruit with my Shield and Minibot, find out that he's running, for some reason he has Redemption on a Silver-Hand Recruit, and then I decide to destroy the True Silver Champion with Vine Cleaver and get some minions on the board. Vine Cleaver is a very powerful card in general, especially with cards such as Quartermaster or Steward of Darkshire, as it allows you to generate Silver-Hand Recruits in advance, sort of, which is very good with playing cards like this that need to be on the board. This turn, I decided to go and trigger the whole Noble Sacrifice Redemption Avenge combo first, with one of my Silver-Hand Recruits. Then, once all of these go off, I can go and attack into the newly revived Noble Sacrificiaire with my weapon, generating 2 Silver-Hand Recruits that I can then turn into 3/3s with Sunkeeper Tarim. Sunkeeper Tarim is a very, very powerful card in this matchup, and in general, because of his ability to transform the gigantic minions such as Mysterious Challenger into harmless 3/3s that I can easily deal with. He plays a secret and muster for battle, but at this point it's pretty much over, as I have a massive board, a powerful weapon, and he's stuck with pretty much nothing. He sees us and concedes, giving me the game.